Good afternoon, everyone. Chris Berryman here, coalition builder and founder of Bringing Humanity Together. Welcome to another wonderful Wednesday edition of Conversations for Humanity here on LinkedIn, Facebook, and also on our YouTube channel. Because today is going to be another great day to be alive and another great and engaging conversation will not only inspire you, but also lead into connection, and that connection will lead into collaboration, and that collaboration will lead into community. So again, welcome everyone to the Bringing Humanity Together live stream. This is one of three open forums under the Bringing Humanity Together umbrella, where people can discuss topics related to the workplace and humanity in the workplace in a very positive and constructive way. We want to know what the issues are out there that are facing people today, because it's our goal, our mission, our passion, our purpose, and I even dare say our calling here at Bringing Humanity Together, to create environments that people will love, not only in those workplaces, but in those very communities in and of itself. And as always, we'll be going live every day over the week, Monday through Friday. We have our community calls booked in at the beginning and the end of the week. So on Mondays, we have our community call via Google Meet. And then we have our other community call on LinkedIn audio on 3 o'clock, and they're both at Eastern Daylight Time. So if you'd like to find out how to get onto those calls, please message me and we'll get that information to you straight away. And also, we'll be going live every day of the week as well, in Tuesdays and Wednesdays and Thursdays. And this is going to be a unique week, because this is going to be our last LinkedIn live stream for the second week in a row, because we're going to have part two of On Purpose for Purpose, hosted by our very own Kimberly Lecknick and Isabel Zimmerman. So be aware that that is going to go tomorrow at 3 p.m. Eastern Daylight Time via Zoom. If you want to find out how to do that, just go to our LinkedIn business page or message me, and we'll make sure we get that information to you straight away. So let's jump right into our meet and greet session. I see we have James and Emily here with us today. Hello, James. Hello, Emily.
Hey.
How we doing?
I am doing great on this wonderful Wednesday. How are you guys doing today?
Okay, a little stressed.
Stressed about what, Emily? Come on, you can share.
Okay, well, I thought I would be getting a paid gig today, and it's not. So, yeah, I don't know how I'm gonna pay my employee, let alone my own personal bills. So, yeah.
And how are you doing today, James?
You know, I'll be honest with you, Chris. Other
How many
than
cups of
feeling
coffee have you had?
two, other than feeling like I got hit by a fully loaded freight train, I'm doing pretty good.
A freight train. There you go. And we have Philip with us today. Hello, Philip.
Hello, everybody. How's it going?
Hey,
Doing well, doing well. Uh, I take it you got my messages, Phil.
Uh, there was nothing on him. It was just silence.
Well, that's technology for you, because the reason why I sent you messages is because I want to let you know that today will be your day for sharing your story on Conversations for Humanity.
Woo!
There you go. There you go. So Philip is going to be our special guest today. And I apologize, but like I said, I sent him via LinkedIn, and you know how LinkedIn works. Sometimes it works, sometimes it don't.
Exactly. And it wouldn't. I tried to get in yesterday, but it wouldn't let me.
No,
It
no worries. No worries.
and
good old
so it's a hit
technology.
and miss sometimes.
So,
Good old technology.
yep,
Right, Chris?
that's right.
It's
So,
all
how's the
good.
weather for you today, there, Phil?
Oh, everything's great. I talked to somebody about doing a website.
What?
Well,
What?
you can talk to
What?
somebody right here, because she
Wait.
does websites that shine.
I just heard like the key word, and then just woo,
Yeah,
whoa.
it's a local guy, and the thing about it is, a lot of people told me that I need a website to validate me, and I realized that I can put in all the links to the interviews that I'm doing, uh, or the conversations I'm having with people, because I don't see it as an interview. I see it as a conversation. And what it's just nobody knows about it. It just takes time to get known. And that's the tough part. And trying to deal with clients and trying to promote what I'm doing and get the word out there. And part of that is doing the interviews with people too, because way I look at it is I showcase others. I help others in helping myself as well. Because together, anything's possible.
That it is. That it is. So,
And
hello, Safrine. How you doing today?
Hey Chris and everyone, Philip, Emily, I'm doing great. I just returned from work. Sorry for late.
no worries,
You're
life is good.
you're good. You're good. How was work today, Safrine?
Today the work I actually like to work because my colleagues are really nice to be with, funny and supportive peoples all around. And also today one of my colleague brought his daughter, so it was very nice environment at work.
Wow. And that is amazing, Safrine. And what you shared with me the other day about how you got into the realm of IT is it's literally an awesome story that you definitely should share with us on Conversation for Humanity here in a future broadcast. And I really love that. So today is actually nice and sunny here in the great state of Florida. Um, so it was really nice today. I didn't have no big issues today, so I didn't have a discombobulated day or horrendous day or whatever. It was nice. It flew by quick, so I was in and out. So I really liked it today. So it was really good today. So it was awesome. So we're going to have a great and engaging conversation with Philip today and sharing of his story. And uh, I also got to put this out there. We're going to have our event, which is going to be now our third one. When you really think about it, it's going to be part two of On Purpose for Purpose, hosted by Kimberly Letnick and, of course, Isabel Zimmerman. It's going to be a great and engaging conversation. If you even want to find out how to get onto that, please send me a message or send a message to Philip or to Emily or Safrine, and we'll make sure we get those details to you. And speak, you were on that call yesterday with me and Isabel. What did you think about yesterday's call?
It was really relaxing and deep conversation about the power of words, how we can use it in a right way can bring us positivity and prosperity. It was nice. I enjoyed it, and maybe we can actually manage to do one big event together. What do you think, Chris?
Yeah, it was really powerful because Isabel did a fantastic job about the power of words and
Mm.
everything, and it was truly one amazing thing. And bringing humanity together will be in a partnership with Better Job Fit, and Jan Barlow and the great team over there is just doing amazing work, and I can't wait to see where this leads both of us in and of itself. So I just can't wait to see that happening. So Lawrence and Jody K, I would love for you to join us, and hopefully Jody, your internet will get you know back to action, so to speak, because I know sometimes, like I said, uh, technology works sometimes and technology doesn't work. So no worries there. And Bob Melissa said, Lawrence, I'm glad that you're here today. And here's the link, and it's going to be posted in the comment section of LinkedIn. Uh, And like I said, no worries, Jody. Hopefully everything will go back up and running. Uh, and we would love to, like I said, get you into the conversation today. So it is going to be really good. So, Philip, I want to go to you, and at 3 o'clock, I would like for you to share your story. But since you've been on some of the calls that we've had here at Bring Humanity Together, and of course some of the live streams, what has shown up to you in the time that you have been with us, in and of itself, and what kind of things that says, "Hey, I'm literally probably in the right place at the right time." I mean, has that kind of showed it to you that way?
Actually, it does. It's about, like you were saying, bringing community together, because we can accomplish so much more together than we ever could do alone. And part of that is having people with the same mindset towards the perfect goal of, you know what, bringing humanity together, sharing ideas. It's not a competition, or even if it is a competition, you know what, you make each other better. You always find different ways, and there's more than one way to do anything. And part of that is, for me, is having these conversations with like-minded people that are doing the good they want to see in the world. And I think that's part of why, what it drew me to this group, is the diversity to it. And that's our humanity in a nutshell, is we're all human. Why do I need to categorize someone into something else that's either derogatory or discriminating? And with that, it gives us a better understanding of, are we on the right path, or maybe we need to tweak some things and make it better.
Right, exactly. So I just, like I said, I want to create a space and a place, Philip, that everyone can have a seat at the table of humanity, so to speak. And it's about creating that environment, not only the one that I love, but also the one that everyone can love, and they can do it from their unique viewpoint and place in the world. And it doesn't have to be done in the need of or in order to a kind of dynamic. It's just letting it be for what it is, and I truly believe in that. So it is. Uh, yeah, don't worry, Emily. In fact, I'll make sure that gets done, so no worries there and everything. So like that. Uh, and Lawrence, like I said, just click that link if you could, ma'am. Because like I said, you don't need to have premium for LinkedIn to be able to jump on a live stream. So just click that link, Lawrence, and you should be able to join us in no time flat. And Jody, like I said, hopefully your internet gets all fixed and everything. And we'd love for you to be here. And of course, the woman of the hour from yesterday, Isabel Zimmerman, is here with us.
Isabel!
Hi, guys.
How are you doing today on Wonderful Wednesday?
I am good. I just got off a phone call. Spirit is funny. Somebody is creating an app, and he's interested in numerology, and I gave him a ton of homework to do.
How much homework do you want to give out today?
Yeah, I gave him like 3 to 4 hours worth of homework. I said, I want you to search on google.uk.com. I want you to do a Google search using the United States, using the Google United Kingdom on numerology. I want you to gather up information on numerology. You're going to create your own designs. And yeah. So,
Wow.
and I said, how did you even find me? Like, what?
It's called magic, Isabel.
That it is.
I'm like,
That
I don't need any more projects or more homework. And it was so funny. He's like, so he wanted to do this app, and Spirit had also wanted me to do an app, and I was going to call it Soul Play. And it was funny. So his app was using just the normal deck of playing cards. And I said, and as I was talking to him, I realized he was interested in numerology. And I said, well, then you should use sacred geometry because numbers are just a human thing. And you should represent the card as numerology, because he didn't really want it to be like a tarot reading, but he wanted it more reflection. And then I was giving him, I'm like, well, now, so he gave me examples, and he really went pretty far for a human. He really did. And but then I said, now you need to teach polarity, and you need to teach parts and wholeness. And so I gave him so much homework.
Wow. Now, I got to say, Isabel, when you plan for things and you're a teacher as you are, you just don't say just a little bit. You just make sure it's a lot, and they have to say, well, it wasn't because of my dog ate it. I just didn't get around to it, but it was like 3 or 4 hours long. I mean, come on.
It's true. You know what I said to him? I said, Frank, you really did an amazing job, but you contacted me and you got a professor. So we're graduating from high school. So,
How true that is.
I love it.
so,
Oh, jeez. All right.
I don't know. So anyways, that's what's going on just 5 minutes ago.
All right. Very good. Very good. So let's get into it. It's now top of the hour. Philip is going to come share his story here on Conversation for Humanity. So, Philip, the hour is yours. Over to you, sir. Thank you so much for sharing your story today with us.
Outstanding. And thank you, Chris, for hosting this. Emily for being here. James, Isabel, Sulfin, or is it Safin?
Yes, Safin.
Okay. And Safin, I've seen you on several of these, and I thank you for being here. And everybody that's listening and everything, my name is Philip Ailes. I am the founder and CEO of Ailes Solutions, LLC. My whole reason for doing this, I'm a retired veteran, combat veteran. I spent a year a little over a year in Iraq as a military, and then I went back as a contractor for 3. And that ended in 2011 when they shut it down. I had bought a Class A RV and was traveling. I didn't know myself. My daughter graduated high school. I was an empty nester. And I always thought about traveling because I've done it for the military. And I knew more about other countries than I did my own. And that was bad. And because I'm an American. And I guess I held Americans to a different standard than I did the rest of the world because just our capabilities, our free speech, and everything, it was a way for me to connect. And I was sitting here because I have my basics covered. And now it's about helping others live their happier life. And so I focus on the project that I'm working on now is I'm probably going to end up switching it to a nonprofit and leave the Ale Solutions because I want to find solutions for people. And that's why I chose that instead of like a coaching or other things, because I think that's what we do is part of our humanity is seeing about ways that you can help other ones achieve what they need out of life. And I focus on self-awareness because for veterans, first responders, and law enforcement, we know how to deal with chaos because that's the area that we live and we thrive in it, become desensitized to it. But what I found out talking with a number of different types of people from every walk of life, it's that whole thing of us transitioning back into the civilian world after spending X amount of years in a structured environment to where actually we were pieces of property owned by the government, and they let us know that. But everything was dictated down from our commands and everything. Well, when you get out, there is none of that. And here I had a phenomenal career. I've been, I was fortunate enough, I was military police. So I got access to a lot of stuff. I've been to the Pentagon, Ground Zero, sat in Saddam's chair in Iraq, because when am I ever going to get that opportunity again? And what I've also found out with veterans, first responders, and law enforcement is we need to break the stigma of trauma and learn to manage that trauma. You'll never get rid of it, but there's a lot of research and things. I went through what's called art therapy. It's advanced resolution therapy. And what it did was it used those neuroconnections, because all our memories and everything are like movies in our head. And from that, it's we we take that memory because there's emotions attached to it. And with that, you learn, you use today's, or your ability of understanding and looking at it from an outside perspective, and take responsibility for your side of it and rewrite it to where it makes better. It's more conducive to growth rather than hindrance. And one of the things that I had to do was toss my ego and my pride out the window, because that was or clouding my clarity of knowing, of seeing the world for what it really is, rather than my interpretation or my beliefs or anything else that alters it, and accepting people for who they are by their own standards, not my own. And with giving that out, I looked at coaching, because I've done it my whole life in the military. Is part of the leadership style that I was trained under was your people, mission always, or mission first, people always. And part of being a successful unit is everybody's up to speed. Everybody, we look out for each other. We make sure that, hey, I see this opportunity. You might want to consider it if you plan on getting promoted or doing this. Somebody, a cheerleader in your back that can see the potential that you don't. And I went through it myself, because I can easily uh, connect with someone, because I understand their differences. And, as you have a conversation with someone, they loosen up and they find out, you know what, this person has been through a lot of same type of similar situations. Or, wow, I'm glad I didn't have to go through that type of mentality. But the most part is I had to learn self awareness. And my emotional intelligence was non existent, because I allowed my my ego, my pride, to take charge and skew the situation away from what it really truly was that everybody else could see. And part of that is bringing that awareness up. And sometimes you don't even know you need help, because I thought I was normal. And the more I got out and more I interacted, and I've talked to a lot of other veterans, they're like, I can't talk to civilians. They just don't get it. Well, no, they have other things that they were doing in their life, and you can't expect them to automatically accept everything that you've done, or discount because they didn't join the military. But you got to look, when 1% of the population is actually served. So you have 99% out there that are doing everything they can to survive. And that's what I was doing until I sat down and said, you know what? I'm the problem. I have 100% control over my life. I'm no longer property of somebody else. I see it as every opportunity, if you don't take it, you're the one losing, not somebody else. Because you only have your life. I can't control what anybody else in this room or that's listening in can do, and it's not my job to change them. My job is to educate and enhance and bring out those attributes and get you out of your comfort zone. Because once you get out of that comfort zone, it's scary as heck. And because you don't know which way it's going to go. And that's what I want to do is because, and I say that I want you to find your happiest life because it's yours, not mine. I've lived my life and have accomplished everything I ever wanted by the age of 38. I'm 51 now, and I have so much more life to give. And where my passion lies is solving problems and building relationships. That's my superpower because I've dealt with so many eclectic, unique situations all from many different cultures, and none of them are the same. Same thing with us here in the United States. We look at it, we're blessed compared to a lot of the other countries in the world that our kids have education, we have free speech. It's a hustle, and that's life because you only get out of it what you put into it. And what I, my main thing is to let veterans know and law enforcement and first responders know that you're not alone. That there's so much help out there, and it's connecting the right dots to the right service. And the first step is raising your hand and going, I need help. I can't, I've gone as far as I can on my own, but I realize there's so much more out there. And if I just take a step back and I'm more of a macro thinker, I'm a big picture person because I've dealt with things on the international, national, state, multinational, multi-jurisdictional situations that what do you do when everybody thinks they're right? And in their mind, they are. Maybe, and so now we have to look at is like what you're doing, Chris. You bring humanity back together. And knowing that because we're not as strong when we're individual. And just like with ants and everything, we have a social existence. And working together, we uplift each other. And there's stuff that Emily can do or James that you really enjoy. And so now what that does with that partnership, that coaching, that understanding, that networking is about 97% of success. Because that other 3% you're doing on your own. And yeah, you can I've had success. But then what do you do when you've accomplished it? What's next? Are you going to take those experiences and go, wow, I can further this? I love meeting people, and I understand is the greatest understanding is one of the greatest gifts that you can give to somebody because I can't, I only know me, and I choose to learn something about others and the humanity behind it. Uh, because, well, one thing I don't understand is we have $200 trillion worth of assets in this country. Why do we have poor people? And if you look at that, and it's about bringing us together more than anything. Uh, One of the things that I've noticed in other countries is they're big on family. United States, we have the mentality of you turn 18, gone. Well, in like Korea, it's so expensive to live, so you usually have a family. We usually have a family that is the center point of everything. And I think that's part of the humanity we lost, because you got to look at a lot of kids nowadays, they want to be an adult, not a kid. And they don't understand the attributes that are given to them and the time to develop into who you are. Uh, and it goes back to what we talked about in one of the other meetings is uh, just under bringing it all together. And I know I can do some good even if I just help one person. That's one more person that didn't have it. And that's what drives me, and my passion is I love connecting dots. I like informing. I like showing, because and getting people to do action, because that's the hardest thing. We can sit here and talk all day long. If you do nothing with it, you're in the same boat you were yesterday. And now, all we have is right now. And the first time in my life, in the last several years, I actually slowed down enough to pay attention to myself and how I was interacting with the rest of the world, and realized there sometimes you got to be vulnerable. You got to be open and honest with yourself and what you really want out of the world. And if you don't like it, you're the only one who can change it. And that's what the military did for me, because I didn't know what I didn't know. And being able to travel and experience and work with just a wide variety of different people from all walks of life. And that's the great thing about the military, law enforcement, and first respond. We're part of, we come from every socioeconomic background you could think of. And my whole thing is let's have a conversation. Let's talk, because what you know could potentially help somebody else, or help me, or help yourself get out. And that's why I started doing conversations with phenomenal people. My first one was 12th Sergeant Major of the Army, Jack Tilley. And he answered the call, and I asked him. But it would have never happened if I hadn't taken action to understand that. And you know what? He was gracious enough, because he's a busy guy and he's retired and doing his own thing. He didn't have to answer, but I'll take full advantage of it that he did. And those are the things that set it up and lead by example. And because if you really look at it, you're the only one holding you back. It all starts with you and self-awareness, and it goes back to emotional intelligence, mindfulness. Because once I started doing that, oh, the world was so much brighter and hopeful. Because if I sat and woe is me, no one understands, actually no one cares, because no one knows. And how can you care about something you know nothing of? And bringing that back and realizing, you know what, instead of just me, I have people scattered throughout the world now, because I've reached out. I did the hard work. I didn't just sit back and wait for it to come to me. I ran towards the ball in a metaphorical way. And part of that is let's have fun. If you're not having fun, why do it? We've done enough things in our lives that we just go, oh my God, please let it be over. Because we agreed to something that we didn't really think about initially. But part of, I think, being a well-rounded person, for me, it's building that trust and letting you know that I'm putting as much effort into it as you are. And the biggest part is what I found with people in public service is you got too familiarized with the suck it up buttercup, move on. It's part of the job. Well, having that trauma build on trauma, and just stacking for years, you don't realize your body has to process those emotions and get them out, because once you recognize it and you accept it and you just say, I'm the problem. I have to look at me. And I never really worried about what other people thought. But now that I'm older and my kids are grown and everything, I don't worry about what they think, but I care how we interact. And spreading love is one of the best things you can do. You don't have to like somebody, but you know what? You love them for who they are, because you figure out, hey, if I'm ever in a sketchy situation, I might need this person, or they might give me some advice, or other way around is I met with one. I mean, only 12 people have ever served in that position by the time he did it. And letting those words out and bringing the human side of it. And that's what I like about what you're doing, Chris. It is the human side. And that's what we fail to look at sometimes when we're just trying to survive. But what do you do or it goes down to what the paradigm that we have in this country. We did everything we could to get away from autocracy, with families controlling everything, to a capitalist system that, yeah, now it's the Rockefellers, the Rothschilds, and all those other Vanderbilts that are in control of the money. I mean, you got to look, the Bushes and everything, they have all those families have about $17 trillion worth of assets they can promote, which, wow, that is tremendous power. Same thing with Elon Musk. There's a lot that we're not told in this world. And if you sit back and you pay attention and you be in the moment, you pick up on cues that I never do. I just blew it off. But now it's about getting veterans, law enforcement, and first responders to come together and share your successes and your failures and everything, because that's the only way we grow. Because what I do has been around for thousands of years with Buddhism and other religions and everything. And now it's about getting that information out, sharing it, and making it to where people make more informed decisions rather than emotional. And that's what hindered me my whole career, is the emotional side. Everything was a battle. Well, no, now I now once I've done it and I look at it, and it hasn't been easy either way around, because there's other extenuating circumstances when you repress how you feel and everything. Because it wasn't until the 80s when you had all those talk shows bringing out people's dirt. and it brought it out and showcased it to the world. And a lot of people thought, "Oh, I thought that was only me," and you just go from there. And I'm just thankful, and I feel wonderful that I can help others find their happiness. And because I've watched other movies, like there was a movie with Sidney Poitier in it. He was uh, he was a released slave, and he stayed on the property. For him, it was just living. He's like, why do I need all that other stuff? Does it really make you happy? And they wanted his land. All the lawyers and everything they kept sending to him quit and went off and did something else. And he's like, why are you wasting your time doing this when you can be happy doing this other thing? And that's what I love about bringing back humanity, and why I choose to do what I do. And you got any questions?
Well, that is so amazing the way you weaved your story into so many other different things. And I see we have Angelica here with us. Hello, Angelica.
Hey, Angelica.
Are you there, Angelica? Maybe the kids are.
Yes, I am. I kind of get in and out here in this area that I'm at. But how is everybody doing over there?
Doing
That was a
well,
wonderful,
doing well. How about you?
great. That was a wonderful share. I love what Philip mentioned about doing what you love to do. Life is too short to not
Yeah.
be doing what you love, right? And
And learning to
go ahead.
say no. Learning to say no on
Yes,
things you don't enjoy.
awesome. That's a good teacher. It's a good lesson for others that maybe all their lives they've been doing something they didn't really want to do, and you brought it out to them that you can say no. Why not?
And it's never too late, because all you have is, well, do it right now. Well, I'll do it next week. No, then you'll never do it, because you always make excuses and have other things that pop up that you are your time is misdirected in. And I mean, when I first got out, I was all over the place because I've experienced so much. And in the military, you're doing everything from lawn mowing to barracks cleaning to vehicle maintenance. There's so much involved, and you have to do it because there's nobody else to do it. But once you get out, and now I'm thankful, because what that does, it gives you life skills. And wealthy people have so much time because they pay somebody else to do their other chores. I mean, that's the reality behind it. That's the only way you get around it, is you hire somebody to do it for you, but it's got to be cost benefit uh, analysis done, to where if it gives you more time to make more money doing what you're doing, it only makes sense to make sure your house is clean, your laundry's done, your kids are watched, and that'll allow you to focus. And that's what I've been doing, because it took me a while to whittle it down uh, to what my true passion was, because I was like, I like doing a lot of things.
Yeah.
And it's one of those things, if I don't know it, I'll go learn it. You can learn anything on YouTube, the internet, talking to people. And believe it or not, a lot of people are willing to talk.
Even here on LinkedIn.
Yes. And if you're not LinkedIn with me, hey, please do. I'm almost up to 23,000. And
Congratulations.
oh, it hasn't been easy. It's been 4 years of me doing this type of thing and connecting with people that I know can bring something to the table. Uh, and I'm thankful we don't have the same experiences because I've been in that situation where everybody thinks is doing the same thing. Well, it's not always the right thing. It's just somebody's idea, and you stepping forward and going, you know what? It's going to be hard, but I can do it. Same thing. That's why you invest in yourself in college. You don't do it for a job. You do it for your overall development and better understanding of things that are you're doing. Because if you look at it, people give up because it's a little too hard or there's not that immediate gratification. Well, even with this business, I gave myself a grace of 3 years because it takes time. People don't know me, but the more they talk to me, the more I connect with them, the more we get the ball rolling, pushing towards the right direction. And then we can look back and go, wow, I can do that. I've done it. And then we set our the next generation up for success. Um, because I've noticed a lot of places don't really want they don't get into the personal development until you get the executive level. Because once there, you got to learn how to control yourself and make better decisions in how you present yourself in more professional rather than amateur. And all it is paying attention to details and being
Exactly,
open.
exactly. So I'll go over to you, Safrine. What did you get and what stood out to you in the sharing of Philip's story?
What I felt is, Philip, you know a lot of things and you've been through a lot. Like, I was trying to understand what you've been through. I really love to read or hear about life stories because this life is really small and I also don't want to do the same mistakes. It's better to learn from wise person or who you can trust that what to do and what not to do. And when that's why I cannot decide what uh, is the best, I trust what God said. Because I don't want to do the mistake. But Philip, I would love to maybe know like a story. Your speech really encouraged me or giving me this urge to know more. That what is the story behind the teaching, how you learned this, why you are so humble and sublime in the nature, like you now just want to help people. Maybe write a book.
And that's what people keep telling me. I need to. And you know what? It really my story really began because I did everything I could, and I got to a point to where I maxed out, and I didn't have the right connections with other people that I should have because I was mindlessly going through things. But now that I did the research of Daniel Goldman and others that are writing emotional freedom, if you look at a lot of the problems in the world, it's off emotions, not logic.
Hmm.
And that's one thing that I found in the Middle East is they're emotionally driven, but that's their culture. And they hold grudges until they find or they figure out there's balance in the universe again and they can move on. And here in the United States, everybody's trying to hustle and do their thing. And unfortunately, people steal ideas. And now what are you going to do? And that so friend, that's where it comes into education. And because if I'm getting into something, I definitely want to talk to somebody that's been there, done that, and can give some advice. And because most of the time we overthink things,
Hmm.
and we complicate things by thinking that we're right.
Yeah, that is true.
And it's taken a lot to actually get me to the point where I'm at now. And I was like, wow, all my headaches, all my paranoia and PTSD and ADHD and everything, you got to learn to survive with it. And that is something that I enjoy doing, is finding out your story. Because your story is the only way we can find a solution to get you towards happiness. And thank you. I greatly appreciate you. And we need to have a talk.
We all
Mm,
do, and that's why we're here together at Bringing Humanity Together, are we not?
yes.
Yes. Because what other platform can you do this on? To where people come in and you're getting real live, non scripted uh, information. And people let their guard down and become more vulnerable and honest. Because no one, people could tell you, yeah, there's a lot of things I found out when I started, and either sways you away from it or sways you towards it. And it's up to you of what your true purpose is and what you want to do, and what makes you get up out of bed in the morning and go, wow, I've got another day to do this.
Yeah. So I will go to you, Angelica. Can we maybe even do this? Can we, and I want to hear from Philip and Safrine too as well, can we create an environment, Angelica, of one that not only that we love, but also could be the one that they love too as well, that might just turn into the life that they love if we allow that to occur?
Yes, I believe so. In my earlier in my room today, I mentioned our group bringing out humanity, and now I got Chechia telling me I'm waiting for the information on the group. He goes, I'm patiently waiting. So we could just, whenever we have our rooms, that we can invite others and talk about what we're doing and how um, it's a welcoming and positive group. And so that's my proof that people want, they want that. They want to be heard. They want to be able to share their ideas, and they want to feel comfortable and in being a group that is approachable, like the group that we have. So yes, I definitely believe that it's possible, and I hope it's okay for me to do that. Is that all right? Because I remember you saying invite others to the group, right?
Yes, yes, yes. The more the merrier. Absolutely. Um,
Okay.
so over to you, Philip. What say you on that?
It that's the whole purpose of it, is to get people together, sharing ideas, being respectful of other ideas and other cultures, understanding. Uh, like for me, getting that perspective from Angela or Angelica and Saffron and yourself and everybody else that showed up, it aligns your thoughts and you go, okay, either validate it or devalue it, or realize that, oh, I talked a little too soon. I don't know as much about this as I thought I did. And that, I think, creates growth within yourself. And that's why getting as many people into this and that understand, us working together can accomplish everything. And you working yourself, you're limited on who you know.
Yeah.
And you can't just do it, just walk out and you can do it on your own, but you're going to spend a lot of time and money and everything, and it distracts you away from what you really want.
Exactly. But see, like I asked Angelica, and I definitely want to get your viewpoint on this too, Philip. Can we create those environments in tandem to each other, to where it's not the one that only that we love as people, but might end up being one that they love, and it might even turn into a lot that they love. Can we actually do that and allow that to occur?
It's hard. It's hard to hear you, Chris. You sound like you're in the matrix, my friend.
So what say you, Philip?
Is it just me, or
Yeah, I think it might be your connection.
So
Oh,
so, so
so
can
yeah,
we?
it's definitely possible, because this is proof of it. Because literally, I mean, this was just a thought in your head at one time, wasn't it? And you're like, well, what can I do? Are there people out there? And self doubt will kill a dream in a heartbeat, because that's just the way our brains work. And if it doesn't, in our society, if it doesn't happen right now, oh, I'm a failure. No, you just got to give it time to mature and grow. I mean, you can't plant a tree today from a seed and expect a tree tomorrow. No, it's going to take time. And same thing with yourself. Find people that can give you educational shortcuts to where you don't have to do it as hard, and they can answer those questions.
Yes, and see, I've intentionally surrounded myself with people who know what they know far better than me, and here's why. Maybe it, and I have to bring Star Wars yet into it again because I truly believe Star Wars has changed my life like you'll never know. But think about it: the master and apprentice kind of dynamic. The master knows a lot, seen a lot, done a lot. The apprentice wants to know more, wants to be like the master. Totally get that and recognize that, and even honor it, in fact. But what if, Philip and Angelica and Safrine, that we actually can have that dynamic play out in a way that not only the master teaches the apprentice, but the apprentice teaches the master. They're interconnected, they're intertwined. Because here's why. What if we don't know everything as a master? What do we actually? It's almost like in our lives, and especially in business today, we look to the experts for the knowledge and insights and clarity that we want to seek in our lives. But what if they only know what only they know, and that's it? And that's the kind of like plateau that we reach. But see, for me, when it comes to that master and apprentice kind of dynamic, to where the master could be teaching the apprentice, and the apprentice can actually teach the master, it's that again that collaborative dynamic in such a way that they both move forward together, or they learn together. They actually thrive together. And I want to go to you, Safrine, and I want to also get your take on if we can create the environment that not only one that we love, but also the one that they can love, that might turn into the life that they love. What shows up with you with that as well, Safrine? What shows up to you right now?
Um, it definitely sounds to me dreamy and paradise, like not this world, but it's a different world. But as we can vision it, at least then it already giving us a hope that we can reach there, because what's not reachable, we cannot even think that in our head. So I think it's possible, but how we are approaching for that is really good, because everybody needs a place where they feel heard and loved and help, like everyone is helping each other. That's what type of dynamic environment we are creating. So I think if we just bring others, they will really love it. If we let them share their idea, their life, I think it's achievable.
Wow. That is amazing, Safrine. That is talking about hitting a home run. You just hit it right there. Uh, but I want to go back to each and every single one of you, and I want to start. I like to start with Philip. Philip, I'm sure our audience is kind of scratching their heads and saying, "Hey, how did all these people get to bring humanity together?" So I'll start with you, Philip. What really led you here to bring humanity together?
You. And that's the straight honest truth is you put it out there, you had content, and it resonated because that's part of what I've been doing the last 20 years is bring humanity together to accomplish anything, because that's what we do. Because there's everything that's saying, oh, that can't happen. Well, somebody did it. They did. Well, that's it's physics. Well, no, actually, if you throw all these other variables in it, it works. And that's the hope we all need. That I mean, Alexander Graham Bell didn't invent the light bulb overnight, or or no, he did the telephone.
He did the telephone.
Edison did the light bulb.
Yeah, Thomas Edison took
Yeah.
10,000 times.
Yes. And you know what? All it takes is that one. You've already worked out all the other variables. There's no other thing to do. And the more we keep doing that, because I not one person has the time and effort to put in to know everything.
Right.
Because same thing with a doctor, they've specialized and they bring something to the table. Well, you know what? I believe in teaching each other, and as part of a team that you should have an understanding of the whole concept, not just your little piece of it. And I
Yeah,
think it
exactly.
makes
Exactly.
you work better.
Exactly. Over to you, Angelica. What led you to bring humanity together?
What led me to bringing humanity together, I kind of can relate to what Philip says. It's something that we already were doing on our own, but why not work with a group? You go farther faster when you're working with a group. We could help more people together than alone, right? So that really resonated with me. Why not use our abilities to help as many people as we can? And I think as a group that you've been putting together, we are doing that, uh, and it's wonderful. That really cracked me up, Philip, that you said when you said you. But it's true. It takes a good leader to get a group together and move them in a way where even if they're doing something, but we're all learning, like you said. And I like what you said too, Chris, about there's the master, but then there's the one that you were teaching that we learned from, right? And it made me think of when you have a child. I have a son, and I learned from having a son because you learn different things from your kids as well, and um, different ways to teach them and looking at things in a different way. I this is something funny that I learned. I got impatient with my son about something, and he asked me this question: do you make mistakes? And then he shut my mouth with that. So I learned from that because we all do, right? And so it so I agree with you that we could learn from even the people that we're teaching, right? So
Yep,
I love what
we
that
can.
share. Over to you.
Yeah, thank you so much, Angelica. And yes, Philip, life is what we make it. Just like I have said before, and what Carla has said before, and many of us here, Bring Humanity Together, truly believes in, that life happens for us and not to us. So, Safrine, what led you to Bring Humanity Together?
You.
There you
I
go.
I cannot deny it because, but it was really less. I was only 2 weeks in LinkedIn. I started to join all the events only to make my laser time a little bit productive. And that's how I met you in one event, and somehow we talked, and you asked me some question, I answered, and I say, now you have to give me reward. Do you want to do a event with me? And you said, yes, let's do it. Then do you want to join my event? I said, yes, let's do it. And then it was like, wow, I didn't knew that one answer can bring me somewhere so big. So yeah, definitely you.
Well, thank you so much, Safrine. I am so humbled and honored to have everyone on board this great and amazing journey, mission, passion, purpose, calling. Call it what you will. I just truly believe it's going to be amazing because I just know this. It's not a matter if this gets big. It's only a matter of when and who's on board. And I truly believe in that because it, like Philip said, it does take time and it does create literally an opportunity to grow and thrive if you just allow that to occur. But I want to share this video with you guys because it's from my great friend Rob House, and I truly believe this is going to inspire everybody today. Uh, and this was done over 4 years ago. In fact, because I was in a group that was doing 30 days of posting, and Rob House was the leader of that. And next thing you know, this comes around in this video, and it was truly amazing when this video came up to Rob House's uh, post or viewing or whatever how that transpired. But then he kind of had that aha moment. But I would like to play this video for you with you guys because, like I said, when you guys watch this, it is going to blow your mind about not only how can we start a movement, but how momentum plays in context with that movement and letting that be. So here's my great friend Rob House and how momentum works. So here he is.
Video! What's up, good people? I'm telling you, the internet is amazing. If you are in the right algorithm of people, oh my goodness, you never know what the heck you might learn and see. So I saw Carol posted this in regards to momentum and the domino effect. If you've never seen the domino, it's Fritz Berryman reposted it in our content league group, Daryl Frater's post, and wow. I mean, you know how you have those aha moments? So I've seen this video before, but today it really resonated with me. And I'm going to show you this video. It's amazing how one tiny little domino about that big winds up amplifying its momentum by 2 billion and knocking over 100-pound domino. It's unbelievable. Watch this.
So what I have here is a chain of dominoes. Each one is 1.5 times larger than the previous one. And the smallest domino is about 5 millimeters high and 1 millimeter thick. And I will carefully place it. And there are 13 dominoes. The largest domino, it weighs about 100 pounds and is more than a meter tall. Ready? Ooh. That was 13 dominoes. If I had 29 dominoes, the last domino would be as tall as the Empire State Building.
Now that's a boom. Now, of course, everything physically about that is fascinating. It's amazing. But what's more fascinating is that this is exactly the way human nature works. And so anything you're trying to do, it needs momentum. And most of us, we have that little start and we're wondering why we don't have the big push. But you don't realize it's momentum, it's consistent. So every domino hit another domino that was larger than it. Now, every domino wasn't that much larger than the domino before it. That's how life happens. You don't grow, 3 feet one day and then you're 6 feet the next day. It happens gradually. It's the law of incremental growth. But the point is this: once you realize that there is a process of momentum that happens, then you get more aware of it. And then you become more a part of it. And this is how life accelerates. So whether you're building a business or you're building momentum for your relationship and your marriage, it starts with the effort every day, consistently. And that effort over time magnifies here and there. Whoa. Pretty good, guys. Pretty good. So keep it up. Just keep it up. Micro to macro. Small to big. There's steps to everything. You will evolve.
Now, isn't that amazing? What's your thoughts on that, Philip?
It goes about along what we were saying. What I was saying is it's compounded motion and movement and momentum has to start somewhere. And the thing about it is everybody's always looking at that 100-pound domino going, how in the heck is that tiny little one going to knock over that big one? Well, you know what? It's all in succession because they're 1.5 times bigger than the other. It has enough to knock it over the next one. And everything's built upon the other and stacked. And same thing with trauma. You know what? Letting go of that. Letting go and saying, you know what? That was yesterday. Whew, I made it through.
Right.
And what am I going to do to make sure I never have to go through that again?
Exactly.
And that's part of learning and growing and developing and becoming the better version of you that actually people would like. Because likability is definitely and authenticity is all there.
Yep.
Because if you don't have
Catherine,
those,
what showed up for you in that video?
This is what already Philip summarized, that there are momentums, but they have to be a start point. If we never start, it will never hit the bigger one. But I have a question. How do how do you suggest me to cope with something that I really want in my life, but I know that I will never get? How do I cope with this trauma?
well, you got to first take it and identify what the trauma is and the different aspects of it, and then rewrite it for your purposes and what you get out of it. And was it a pleasurable or not a pleasurable or whatever? It's you never get rid of it. You learn to manage it, and you got to manifest it into your life if and put yourself into situations and opportunities to where you can actually get the result you wanted. And it's all starts with you.
No, it's not like the result. It's not like I can achieve achievement. It's something that I can never have. It's not that if I try I can have. Like maybe an example, I can never see my father again. But like this type of things, but I don't know what happens to me, as I already said. Sometimes I just start crying. Although I am very strong, I know what I want, and then I cannot control myself, and I just don't want to cry in the wrong place. So, what do you think where I need the help? I use everything, like I have diary, I make what I want for the day. I'm happy. I know not everything everyone can achieve or get, but still I just start crying and it's very embarrassing
Why is it embarrassing?
because I just don't want to cry in front of everyone.
So that's more, but are you authentic in what you're doing?
Just it just comes on nothing for nothing all of
Yeah.
a sudden.
Well, one of the things that I've done, because it sounds like you have a lot of good memories as well. And like
Yes.
you were saying, you're not going to be able to see did he pass?
Yes.
He lives in your heart now. That's how we keep that memory alive, and knowing that, you know what, cherish the moments that you did have, because you never know when it's going to end. And it's one of those things that you cherish the good ones because it's helped develop you into who you are now. Because without that interaction with your father, you'd be a different person. And you know what? Celebrate that you releasing that energy. You're creating emotional freedom when you do that. Because it's about understanding it. And you know, either it teaches you something no matter what. And it's up to you, and therapy can help. Because what it does, it allows you, not in an outside or an open forum like this, but there's a lot of details that need to be expressed to get a full picture of it, and how you interpret those thoughts and feelings. And
Saf-
apparently it means a lot to you.
can I share something as well with Safine?
Go ahead.
Yes, sure.
Safine, I'm sorry for the loss of your father. I lost my dad a few years back and my mom just recently, and nothing can ever compare to the pain of losing a loved one and the grief that one feels. And you could take it could take years to uh, overcome it, and some people never overcome it because it's so hard. But I want you to know that I love you, my friend, and I'm here for you. And I know that's not as much as having your dad around, but um, know that you're loved. Take your time in healing from your grief, and it's okay to cry. Crying is normal when you're dealing with grief.
I
So it's
know, but it happens like if I see some dad is like maybe playing with their baby, I just cry. But it's bad. Then they will think I'm crying because I'm jealous or something. I anytime like today also in the office when my colleague brought his daughter, it was so nice, but I was crying in a corner for some time. What will happen? They will think, oh, she is maybe, oh no, it's not safe to give my baby to her. I don't know what they will think, but why would I cry? It's very embarrassing. But it's just I'm craving for that type of love.
yeah. Well, I think we sometimes we think about what other people are going to think about us, right? And the most important thing is you have your feelings, and your feelings count. And if you feel embarrassed, then you could talk to them about your feelings. I don't know how you might not feel comfortable, because I know if I start talking about my feelings, I'll start crying sometimes too. But
And
that's
that's a good thing.
yeah. Yeah, it's normal to cry when somebody's dealing with grief, and they might have never had a loss of somebody in until I lost my mom and dad. I did not know the emotional trauma of losing a loved one. So they might not understand it either, but I understand it, and there are other people that understand it. And you can you can, if you feel embarrassed about it, maybe talk to a therapist about what you can say. I think it might be a communication thing, um, because you want them to know that it's not because you feel jealous because you don't. It's because it just brings up feelings of those memories that you had with your dad. And I'm sure that they would be understanding of something like that. You know,
But I also
you're,
don't want to be pitied, you know. I feel like I don't want to share my feelings, and that's why I'm just trying to hide myself very as much as I can.
How's that
I
working for you?
it's making me uh, it's making me stressed.
And think about having a little bit of grace for yourself and looking at it as, because what it is from what I see or what I hear is you're disappointed in yourself for having feelings.
Yeah, that's true. But it's normal. I know I will meet someday again to him. I know I had a good time. It's okay. Everybody leaves. I will leave too. But still, I just cannot hold my tears. And if I cannot control myself, my own feelings, that makes me very stressed.
Have you read Daniel Goldman's book?
No.
Read Daniel Goldman, Emotional Intelligence 2.0, because that, and honestly, what he does, he uses a lot of Buddhism in their meditation and understanding emotional intelligence, mindfulness, how it all plays together. And it starts with you. You got to be graceful to, you got to love yourself
Mm-hmm.
and accept yourself. You know what? That's just who you are.
I love
And
myself.
yes,
That I do.
Yeah,
and rejoice.
exactly. And if I can chime in here just for a second to Safrine, and again, my condolences and deepest sympathies for the loss of your father, because I had to go through that when my mother committed suicide when I was young too as well. So I don't know the exact grief that you had to go through, but I know that it's there, and it's going to be there for each and every single one of us when we do actually lose a loved one, whether it be a parent, an uncle, sister, brother, whatever that might be. But maybe do it in this kind of context, Safrine. Maybe do it to the place of saying, you know what, I should not be ashamed, because here's why. My father helped me get into this world. And if it wasn't for him and if it wasn't for my mother, I wouldn't be here today. So again, it's about looking life differently and saying, you know what, life is going to happen for me. Whether it throws something at me in a negative, but I can take it and turn it into a positive. And it's okay to have those bad days. It's okay to feel like, oh my gosh, I don't know what I'm going to do. But see, what really is the big thing, though, Safrine, is what we do when we're having those moments in our life to become better on the other side of that. And about, again, like what Philip said, allow yourself to have that space and grace to yourself to where you can say, hey, I'm not going to feel bad today, even though I may feel like I'm down in the dumps. But sometimes having those bad days can lead into a much greater place in space, that you can have that silver lining, so to speak, at the end of the tunnel, so to speak, that you can be better on the other side, and you won't have no one or nothing keep you from being who you are meant to be. And see, it's like with me, when I lost my mother, I really didn't know how to handle it. I've never dealt with suicide ever in my life until that day came to me when I was, like I said, 10 years old. Didn't know what suicide really was. I mean, I've heard of it, but I didn't really take it in. But when we let go of those things that are in a negative context and then literally kind of weighs us down, Safrine, we can look at to those events or those feelings or that circumstance or whatever that might be and say, you know what? I can let it go, and here's why. Because it's never going to hold me back. And if we allow that to occur, not only in our lives, Safrine, but also in the lives of others, not only can we be in a place of more of oneness and more authentic and more genuine and more loving, not only to ourselves, but also to each other, it's going to create a new way of looking at life in such a way that you don't have to feel like that you have to end up being in a place of saying, "Oh, I don't feel this way when I talk about my father this way. I should actually be in the opposite. But why do I feel that way?" But see, that's what makes us human, Safrine. That's what makes us human, and it's like it's up to us as human beings, not human doers, to show up in a way that really is what we are and everything like that. So we'll definitely talk offline about that and so much more, Safrine. I truly believe in that. And you're absolutely right, Philip. Look at what you've gained by having him in your life, and it's up to us to cherish in the limited time that we have. You are so spot on with that, Philip. You absolutely are right because we're not guaranteed tomorrow. We are not. We're only guaranteed for the here and now. And it's what we do with that here and now, Safrine, that really matters. How's that show up to you right now for you?
That is true. I am not denying it, but the thing is, why I cannot control myself. That actually stresses me. I don't want to always cry out loud in front of everyone or something. That's only the reason. I understand everything. Whatever you're saying, I completely agree. But I cannot control my. I think I need therapy. That's what Phillips said.
And the whole
I
thing with
also
therapy is it allows you to be in an environment to where you feel safe and you can be honest because that's how you understand it. And one of the things that I went through with equine therapy was they made us write down what situation are we having. Like I had problems with my ex-wife, her lack of ambition, but they made me not focus on that, focus on how I got through it and around it and what I gained from her lack of ambition. I pushed myself to achieve. And and it's our perception of the things, and you know what? Cherish the time and take that over to your son.
Go ahead, Angelica.
I wanted to mention that I have an article that I want to share. It's called "Learning to Live um, Without a Loved One," and it talks about things that you could do to help you keep your mind occupied as well. And it might be helpful. It's a free article, and I'd like to send that to you to see if that might be able to help you. It's short.
Sure.
Uh,
Thank you, Angelica.
You're
Yeah,
welcome, Safi.
and just know, Safrine, we're here for you. That's why, and that's another component to bring humanity together that we can create a space and place that everyone can not only be genuine to one another, but be vulnerable again at the end of the day because we recognize that we're only human and we're going to again have those bad days. But it's what we do with those bad days and how we show up to them to become better on the other side of that that matters. Because see, by doing that, not only will you become better for it, Safrine, but the people around you will become better for it too as well. And again, I have to end with this great quote from Star Wars, and I hopefully, like I said, bring some value and solace to what we're discussing with you today, Safrine. And it really hits home for me. It's this: embrace others for their differences, for that which makes you whole. I'll say that again. Embrace others for their differences, for that which makes you whole. If we can embrace each other when we do have those bad days, and embrace each other even when we have those great days, it's not the differences that matter in and of itself. It's about the whole. Having those good, having those bads, having a such an awesome day that you couldn't even shut up about it, that you'll tell everybody about it, or even starting a new business, or maybe even recognizing, hey, I didn't make this deadline, and I don't know why it happened, but it did. But then you come back and you say, this is maybe how I can avoid that maybe next time by finding a different path, because I just truly believe there's so many pathways that get us to where we want to go. It's not one singular event, not one singular way, not some singular way of thinking. There's multiple ways to do that. So, Safrine, like I said, if you would like to talk more offline, let's definitely do that. But again, I'm so humbled and honored to have each and every single one of you in my life today, because I know in my heart of hearts, I wouldn't even be here today if it wasn't for you all. And see, that's the greatest thing, that we can make a difference in each other's life to such an extent when we do share our vulnerable selves and share that other side that some other people may not even see or even know. But then again, that comes down to the very question that I truly believe we should all ask ourselves. It's not what we do, it's who are you? And when people know who you are, Safrine, they're going to accept you and be with you because that's who you are. And then when people realize that Safrine is the most amazing person on this planet, not only will they want to be a part of your life, they may be even willing to follow you into whatever endeavor that you set your mind to, or be a part of a greater community, or be a part of a team. Well, it doesn't really matter, Safrine. You have the ability to not only dictate which way you want to go in life, but you're the director and author of your story in such a way that you are going to write it in the way that you see it fit and make it so. It's not up to me. It's not up to Philip. It's not up to Angelica. It's not even up to Carla or anyone else. It's up to you to say, this is how I'm going to design my life, and this is the way I will lead my life in the way that's going to be beneficial not only to me, but it's almost like the very act of giving and the very act of receiving. It is there, Safrine, and it's going to be there for you because you allow that to occur. So, Safrine, like I said, I'm so humbled and honored that you're in my life, just as well as Angelica and Philip and everyone on our great and growing team and movement. And I got to end it here because I know we've gone probably past our time, but it's been such a great, rich, and engaging conversation. I just had to let it go because people should know who we really are. So, I want to go to our final thoughts of today's call. And maybe it's apropos to probably just say it like this: just be you. Don't be nobody else. Don't put a mask on. Don't be something that you're not. Just be you. And be in tune with that. And just let that be. Because the more you try to put a mask on, or the more you try to do something that's not conducive to your growth or thriving ability to get you to where you can not only build your own field of dreams, but in turn be in someone else's field as well. Life is too precious to let go of those opportunities to come before you. So I just say, just be human, just be you. So I will go to you, Angelica. What's your final thoughts in today's great and engaging conversation?
My final thoughts are, we are here to embrace you, Safine, and I just feel that I feel honored that you have enough trust and courage to speak to this group, because I know it's hard for you. However, you know that we do love you and we want the best for you. So whatever I can do to help alleviate your pain and to put myself in your shoes. I know I can't feel the same way that you do because we all deal with grief differently. But just want you to know that you're loved, and I'm going to send you a few articles and see what you think. If it hopefully is helpful in helping you alleviate your pain. Um, so that's my my take for the day, and it's back over to you.
Thank you, Angelica. I greatly appreciate you. Safrine, what are your final thoughts in today's great and engaging conversation today?
I I stole the spot of Philip. Today should be the Philip's day.
No, hey, it's all good. You know, I love that you share and you're vulnerable, and like you said, look at the things that you gain from having him in your life and rejoice it and think about those things, not what you that you don't have him around anymore, because he's always in your heart and your soul, and it helps you with your family. Just live the life that's best for you.
I just want to add also, Safine, you didn't steal Philip's spot. You made Philip's spot look even better because you made uh, Philip let you speak, and he was humble enough to let you speak and give you time to speak, and that shows that he's an approachable person. So you actually made his spot shine. So just want to add that.
Well, the biggest thing is it all comes down to us and our own viewpoint and our own perspectives, and got to have grace and throw your ego and your pride out the window, because everybody has a voice and
Yep.
a right to be heard.
Yep. Well said. Well said. And like I said, Saffron, you have been a great, not only person in addition to our great and growing community and movement, but more importantly, you have left an impact on each and every single one of us. And that's what it's all about. It's about having that impact on somebody. And think about it. And Philip said it earlier, and I'll go to him to close out the call. Maybe it's that one opportunity or that one conversation or that one event that literally changes our life forever, like we'll never know, and just allowing that to occur. And Safrine, I truly believe you are already doing that. You've had that one opportunity that will turn into another, that will turn into another, that will turn into something else, and then next thing you know, more people will come to you and come in some way to say, "Hey, I got to know Safrine in a better and more human connective way." And if you allow that to happen, the possibilities are literally endless. It really is. And I commend you for, like I said, sharing your story with us today about you and your father. And that takes a lot of guts and courage to do that, but because most people won't do that, and I truly believe that. So, Safrine, we're just so humbled and honored that you're here. So, Philip, I'll go over to you to close out the call. What's your final thoughts in today's great and engaging conversation?
Well, I looked at it as Safin made my point. It not necessarily, it doesn't have to be a negative experience. It can actually be a positive, and you look at it and it's just your perspective of how you deal with it. There's nothing wrong with it. It's the process of understanding that and reformulating, and
Exactly.
that's why I do what I do, because she caught me a little bit off guard initially, but I was like, well, I can make my point, and I greatly appreciate it, because what it does, it brings it to light, and it's a real life situation. It's not just a talking about theory, and she brought back the humanity to it and what it's really about. And I thank you, Chris, for allowing me to speak, and Angelica and Saffron and everybody in this room, or people that will listen to it. Pay attention, because you might pick up nuggets of knowledge and not even know it.
Yep.
And it's about pushing yourself forward and knowing that you can live your happiest life. You just got to figure out what that is.
Exactly. Exactly. And that's why I truly believe the better question to ask is not what you do, is who are you? And that really will be there for each and every single one of us again, if we allow that to occur. So, as a reminder, everyone, our community event will be part 3. It's not actually part 3, but it's our third event. But it's part 2 of On Purpose for Purpose, hosted by Kimberly Lecknick and Isabel Zimmerman. Please, if you'd like to join us tomorrow, please go to our business page on Bringing Humanity Together. The details will be there, or shoot me a message, or shoot Philip a message, or Angelica or Safrine, and we'll get the details tomorrow. It's going to be on Zoom, so we'll be no LinkedIn Live tomorrow, but we'd love to have you a part of that great and engaging conversation with us tomorrow. And of course, our LinkedIn audio will be the next day after, on Friday at 3 p.m. Eastern Daylight Time. If you'd like to join us there too as well, please message me and we'll get you the details straight away too as well. So from all of us here at Bringing Humanity Together, have a great day. Make it your day. And we'll see you tomorrow on For Purpose, On Purpose, hosted by Kimberly Lecknick and Isabel Zimmerman. Have a great day, everyone.
You too. Have a great day. Thank you. Bye.